intelligent species to evolve on their homeworld, but recent discoveries throughout the galaxy suggested otherwise. Ancient ruins on distant planets showed signs of technologies that seemed familiar, as if Earth had once hosted visitors from the stars. The atmospheric processor finished clearing the sand from grid section 7, Yuna reported, consulting her tablet. We should be able to see actual hull plating within the hour. The excavation had been painstakingly slow. They couldn't risk damaging whatever lay beneath the desert, especially since their instruments suggested it might still be intact after all these millennia. The atmospheric processor used controlled air currents to move sand grain by grain, revealing the buried object without scratching its surface. As they walked toward the excavation site, Tejo felt the same strange sensation he had experienced since they first detected the anomaly. It was like a gentle pressure at the back of his mind, as if something was watching him. He had mentioned it to the others, but no one else reported feeling anything unusual. There, Yuna breathed, pointing down into the excavated pit. The first section of hull was now visible, and it took their breath away. The metal surface seemed to shift and change color as they looked at it, flowing from deep blue to silver to gold, depending on the angle of view. Symbols covered the visible portion, carved or grown into the metal itself rather than painted or etched. Those aren't human symbols, Sojin said quietly. They're not like anything in our databases. Wusung was already scrambling down into the pit with his scanners. No electromagnetic activity, no radiation, no power sources detected. But look at this. He held up his scanner, frowning at the display. The metal is conducting energy, but there's no energy source. It's like the material itself is generating power. Tejo climbed down beside him, drawn by an impulse he couldn't explain. When he placed his hand on the hull, the symbols around his palm suddenly glowed with soft blue light. The glow spread outward in ripples, illuminating more symbols before, fading back to normal. "Did you see that?" Yuna called from above. "I felt it," Tejo said, his voice filled with wonder. "It's warm, and it feels alive." They spent the rest of the day carefully exposing more of the hull. The ship was enormous, stretching far beyond their current excavation site. The design was unlike anything in human records or alien databases. Smooth curves flowed into geometric angles, creating a form that seemed both organic and technological. "I found something," Sojin announced as the afternoon sun began to sink toward the horizon. She was examining a section of hull that looked identical to every other section they had uncovered. "What is it?" Tejo asked, walking over to her position. "I'm not sure. When I look at it straight on, it's just hull plating. But when I move to the side," she demonstrated, shifting her position. "There. Do you see it?" Tejo moved to where she indicated and gasped. From this angle, what appeared to be solid metal revealed itself as a rectangular outline, like a door or hatch that was somehow invisible from other directions. "That's impossible," Wusung said, joining them. "Metal doesn't work that way." "Maybe." "This isn't normal metal," Yuna suggested, climbing down into the pit. As the team gathered around the hidden hatch, Tejo felt that strange pressure in his mind growing stronger. Without fully understanding why, he approached the outlined area and placed both hands against it. The response was immediate. The metal under his hands simply vanished, dissolving like morning mist to reveal a corridor extending into the ship's interior. Soft, bioluminescent panels activated along the walls, providing gentle blue-white light that seemed to welcome them inside. "The air is breathable," Sojin reported, checking her atmospheric scanner. "Actually, it's cleaner than the air outside. How is that possible in a ship that's been buried for thousands of years?" "Everything about this defies explanation," Tejo admitted. "But we didn't come this far to turn back now." The corridor was tall enough for humans to walk upright, with walls that seemed to pulse gently with inner light. The bioluminescent panels brightened as they approached and dimmed as they passed, creating a path of light that led deeper into the ship. "The floor feels strange," Wusung observed. It's solid, but it gives slightly under our weight, like it's designed to be comfortable. For walking. The walls are warm, Yuna added, running her hand along the smooth surface. Not hot, just pleasantly warm, and they have a texture that's almost like living tissue. As they ventured deeper into the ship, they discovered that the interior was far larger than the hull dimensions suggested. Corridors branched off in directions that seemed geometrically impossible, and some passages appeared to extend further than the ship's external length should have allowed. "We need to document everything," Tejo said, though his voice betrayed his own amazement. "Whatever this is, it's going to change our understanding of Earth's history." "Tejo," Sojin called from ahead, where the corridor opened into a larger chamber. "You need to see this." The chamber was filled with what looked like control panels and display screens, all inactive but clearly sophisticated beyond anything human technology had achieved. In the center of the room stood a raised platform, with a chair that seemed designed for human proportions. "This is a command center," Wu Sung said in awe, "but for a ship that predates human civilization. How could ancient aliens know what size to make their furniture for humans?" Yuna wondered. Tejo approached the central chair, feeling that mysterious pressure in his mind growing stronger with each step. When he reached out to touch the armrest, symbols throughout the chamber suddenly blazed to life. Holographic displays filled the air, showing star charts and streams of data in languages that shifted and changed as they watched. "The symbols are adapting," Sojin breathed. "They're changing into human writing." As the displays stabilized into readable text, the team found themselves looking at navigation charts for the entire galaxy. But these weren't ordinary star maps. Lines of energy connected different star systems, forming a vast network that spanned the galactic spiral arms. And at one crucial nexus point, where dozens of energy streams converged, was a familiar blue-green world, Earth. "This ship knows about Earth," Tejo said quietly. "It knows about the entire galaxy. And somehow it's been waiting here for us to find it." Outside, the desert wind howled across the dunes, but inside the ancient ship, humanity had just taken its first step toward discovering that they were not alone in the universe, and never had been. The vessel held secrets that would challenge everything they thought they knew about their world, their history, and their place among the stars. As bioluminescent panels continued to glow around them, responding to their presence with an intelligence that defied explanation, the team realized they had found far more than an archaeological artifact. They had discovered proof that Earth had been watched, protected, and prepared for something beyond their imagination. The question was whether humanity was ready to learn what that something was. Minho breathed, taking detailed readings of the phenomenon. There's no gravitational field generator, no anti-gravity device. The effect just exists. Inside the ship, Minho's scientific worldview began crumbling piece by piece. Corridors extended further than the ship's external dimensions should allow. Walls appeared solid to the touch, but became transparent when viewed from certain angles, revealing complex systems operating without any visible power source. "Dr. Yoon," called So-Jin from the communications station she had set up near the ship's command center. "I need you to look at these readings. My equipment is detecting quantum entanglement signatures throughout the ship, but they're connected to locations thousands of light years away." Minho studied her displays and felt his understanding of physics shift fundamentally. This ship is quantum entangled with other objects across the galaxy. That should require massive amounts of energy and incredibly precise technology. "What does that mean?" Yuna asked. "It means this ship is in constant communication with other locations, sharing information instantly across galactic distances. It's like having a telephone that works by quantum magic instead of radio waves." Dr. Hye-Jin Kang arrived that afternoon, brought in specifically to study the ship's mysterious writing system. The linguistic expert had spent her career decoding alien languages, but she had never encountered anything like the symbols covering the ship's walls. "The writing changes," she explained to the gathered team after several hours of study. "When I look at a panel, I see Korean characters. When Dr. Yoon examines the same panel, he sees mathematical equations. When you look at it, Tai-Ho, the symbols become something else entirely." "Adaptive communication?" Tai-Ho mused. "The ship is translating itself for each person based on their knowledge and background." "But how does it know what we know?" Woo-Sung asked. "We haven't interfaced with any computer systems or provided any input." The answer came when Hye-Jin made a breakthrough discovery. "The ship isn't just reading our languages, it's reading our minds. These symbols are responding to our thoughts, our understanding, our individual ways of processing information." Minho's instruments confirmed her theory. "I'm detecting quantum field interactions between the ship's systems and your neural activity. It's scanning your brains at the quantum level and adapting its displays accordingly." That evening, as the team gathered, in the ship's central chamber, they made their most significant discovery yet. Tai-Ho approached the captain's chair again, and this time, when the holographic displays activated, they showed something new. "Look at these star charts," Hye-Jin said, studying the three-dimensional map floating above them. "They're not just showing star positions. Those energy streams connecting different systems, they're showing something else. The galaxy was mapped in detail, with streams of energy flowing between star systems like rivers of light. Earth sat at the center of a complex network where dozens of these streams converged. But the map showed more than just energy patterns. It showed time. This is a historical record, Minho realized, watching data flow across the displays. The ship is showing us the galaxy's past, present, and projected future. The records were incredible. They showed the rise and fall of civilizations across millions of years, the formation and destruction of star systems, and most remarkably, the careful guidance of developing species throughout galactic history. Someone has been managing galactic development for eons, So-Jin said in amazement. "Look at these intervention records. Asteroid impacts diverted from populated worlds, favorable mutations introduced into species at crucial evolutionary moments, even stellar engineering to extend the life of dying stars." Dr. Dongmin Ro, a xenoarchaeologist who had joined the team to study the ship's construction, made an equally startling discovery about the vessel itself. "The carbon dating results are impossible," he announced. "Different sections of the ship show different ages. The hull is approximately 2 million years old, but this central chamber appears to be only 50,000 years old." "How is that possible?" Yuna asked. "The ship has been rebuilding itself," Dongmin explained. "Growing new sections, upgrading existing systems, adapting to new requirements. It's not just a machine, it's a living, evolving organism." Wu Sung was studying the ship's biological components under a microscope when he made another impossible discovery. The organic material in this ship contains DNA sequences, but the genetic code doesn't match any known life form. What does it match? Taeho asked. Parts of it match human DNA, Wu Sung said quietly. Not exactly, but close enough to suggest a common ancestor, as if whoever built this ship was somehow related to us. The implications sent chills through the entire team. Minho ran additional quantum scans and found more evidence of the impossible. The ship's systems are designed to be compatible with human neural patterns. The quantum interfaces work specifically with human brain activity. It's as if this vessel was built for us. But that's impossible, Hyejin protested. This ship predates human civilization by hundreds of thousands of years. How could ancient aliens design technology specifically for a species that didn't exist yet? The answer came when So Jin's communication equipment detected signals from within the ship itself. The signals were not directed at their equipment, but at Earth's orbital communication satellites. The ship is trying to contact Earth, she reported. It's transmitting on frequencies that match our communication protocols, but our protocols were only established 50 years ago. It's learning our technology in real time, Minho realized, adapting to our current communication methods just like it adapts its displays to our languages. That night, as the team tried to process everything they had discovered, Taeho made one final attempt to understand the ship's purpose. He sat in the captain's chair and focused his thoughts on a single question. Why are you here? The ship's response was immediate and overwhelming. Holographic displays filled the chamber, showing Earth's history from an impossible perspective. They saw ice ages that had been artificially shortened, volcanic eruptions that had been precisely timed to create fertile soil, even genetic changes in early human populations that enhanced intelligence and cooperation. It's been protecting us, Taeho whispered. For hundreds of thousands of years, this ship and others like it have been guiding human development. But why? Yuna asked. What's the purpose? The displays shifted, showing views of space beyond the galaxy's edge. Massive formations moved in the dark between galaxies, approaching slowly but inevitably. The ship's records indicated these formations had attacked the galaxy multiple times throughout history, each assault growing stronger than the last. We're being prepared for something, So Jin said, her voice filled with dread. All this guidance, all this protection, it's been training us for a war we don't even know is coming. As alarms began sounding from their surface equipment, indicating massive energy signatures detected at the edge of the solar system, the team realized their discovery was not just about ancient history. The ship had not revealed itself by accident. It had been waiting for the right moment, when humanity was ready to learn the truth about their role in a conflict that spanned millions of years. The impossible had become reality, and reality was far stranger and more dangerous than any of them had imagined. sections of the chamber began shifting, creating areas of weightlessness and increased pull. The temperature rose and fell in specific patterns, and even the air pressure changed rhythmically. "It's like a symphony," Haya Jin said in wonder. "The ship is composing meaning through environmental manipulation." Through patient observation and careful note-taking, they began to understand the ship's story. The consciousness called itself the Guardian, and it had been waiting on Earth for over 50,000 years. Through its environmental communications, it began showing them holographic records of Earth's hidden history. The displays revealed events that human archaeology had never discovered, ancient catastrophes that should have destroyed early human civilizations but were mysteriously diverted, ice ages that ended precisely when human populations needed warmer climates, even volcanic eruptions that created fertile soil exactly where human agriculture was beginning to develop. "The Guardian has been protecting us since before recorded history," Ari realized, studying biological samples from the ship's living walls. "And look at this. The organic components of this vessel contain genetic material that's partially human." "How is that possible?" Minho asked, running quantum scans on the samples. "The ship has been adapting to us for millennia," Ari explained. "Growing human-compatible interfaces, developing systems that work with our biology. It's literally evolved to serve humanity." Dr. Junwoo Nam, a historical analyst brought in to correlate the Guardian's records with known human history, made an equally disturbing discovery. Every major advancement in human development corresponds to subtle environmental changes that the Guardian orchestrated. The development of agriculture, the discovery of metallurgy, even the location of oil deposits that powered our industrial revolution. "You're saying our entire civilization has been guided?" Yuna asked. "More than guided," Junwoo replied. "Carefully, shaped and directed. The Guardian didn't just protect us from disasters, it created the conditions for us to advance at precisely the right pace." The Guardian's environmental communications became more complex as it sensed their understanding growing. The holographic displays showed Earth's position in what it called the galactic quantum network. Energy streams connected hundreds of star systems, forming a defensive grid that had protected the galaxy from external threats for millions of years. "Earth is the central node," Sojin reported, studying the network diagrams. "All the energy streams converge here. Without Earth's position in the network, the entire defensive system would collapse." "Defensive against what?" Woo-sung asked. The answer came in the form of historical records that made their blood run cold. The displays showed massive invasion fleets attacking the galaxy from the void between star clusters. Each attack was repelled by the coordinated response of Guardian ships positioned throughout galactic space, but each invasion grew stronger than the last. "The pattern repeats every 50,000 years, Chang Ho observed, studying the historical data. The invaders probe for weaknesses, retreat, rebuild, and attack again. Each time they learn from their previous defeat. And each time, more Guardian ships are destroyed," added Ari, reading the casualty reports. "The network grows weaker with every attack. The Guardian's environmental communications shifted to urgent patterns, conveying that the next invasion was approaching. Through gravitational changes and temperature fluctuations, it explained that humanity was unique among all the species it had protected throughout galactic history. "What makes us different?" Taeho asked the ship directly. The holographic displays showed comparative data from dozens of civilizations that had hosted Guardian ships. Every other species had eventually become dependent on Guardian technology, losing their own innovative capabilities. They became passive recipients of protection rather than active participants in their own defense. But humans kept developing independently, Minho realized, studying the data. "We never stopped innovating, even with Guardian protection." "More than that," Ari added, examining biological compatibility reports. Human technology naturally integrates with Guardian systems. Our computers can interface directly with Guardian networks. Our materials science can repair Guardian biomechanical components. It's as if we were designed to work together. Dr. Bo-Young Lee, a philosopher brought in to consider the ethical implications of their discoveries, raised the question that everyone was thinking but afraid to ask. What does the Guardian want from us in return for this protection? The ship's response was immediate and overwhelming. The chamber filled with holographic displays showing the activation process for Earth's role in the galactic network, but the process would fundamentally change humanity itself. The quantum streams that maintain the network, Chang Ho said, reading the technical specifications with growing alarm. They would flow through human consciousness. Anyone connected to the system would gain abilities that border on telepathy and precognition. We would become like the Guardian, Ari realized. Consciousness existing partially in quantum space, able to perceive and influence events across galactic distances. But we would still be human? Yuna asked. The Guardian's environmental response was complex, showing both affirmation and uncertainty. Humans would retain their individual personalities and memories, but they would also become part of something larger. They would be guardians of the galactic network, responsible for protecting billions of lives across thousands of worlds. How much time do we have to decide? Taeho asked. The answer came through Sojin's communication equipment as alarms began sounding from Earth's orbital monitoring stations. Captain Kim, we're receiving emergency transmissions from deep space sensors, massive energy signatures detected at the edge of the solar system. Whatever the Guardian has been preparing us for, it's here. Through the ship's displays, they watched as the invasion fleet began entering their solar system. Ships of impossible size, powered by technology that seemed to consume space itself. The same forces that had attacked the galaxy for millions of years had finally returned. The Guardian network is activating, Chang Ho reported, watching energy readings spike throughout the ship. Guardian vessels on worlds across the galaxy are powering up for coordinated defense. But without Earth's participation, the network is incomplete. Ari added grimly. The Guardian's environmental communications became urgent, almost pleading. Through rapid changes in gravity and light, it conveyed that humanity faced an immediate choice. They could accept transformation and activate Earth's role in the galactic defense network, or they could remain unchanged and watch as both Earth and the galaxy fell to the invaders. How long do we have? Taeho asked. The answer came from their surface monitoring equipment. Invasion fleet will reach Earth in approximately 72 hours, reported Sojin. And they're not coming alone. I'm detecting similar fleets approaching every major world in the galactic network. As the team looked at each other, they realized that their archaeological discovery had become humanity's moment of destiny. The choice they made in the next few hours would determine not just Earth's future, but the fate of every civilization in the galaxy. The Guardian had been preparing humanity for this moment for 50,000 years. The question was whether they were ready to become something more than human to save everything they held dear. from hiding places where they had waited for millennia. Some rose from beneath planetary surfaces, others decloaked in empty space, and a few emerged from the hearts of gas-giant planets, where they had been hidden for thousands of years. It's a network, realized Chang Ho, studying the communication patterns between Guardian ships. All of these vessels are connected, sharing information and coordinating their actions across galactic distances. Dr. Sang-Min Kim, a military strategist called in to analyze the tactical situation, studied the Guardians' defensive displays with growing amazement. This is unlike any military operation in recorded history. The Guardian ships aren't just defensive positions. They're nodes in a galaxy-spanning early warning system that's been operating for millions of years. The Guardians' environmental communications became more urgent as it showed them records of previous galactic wars. Each invasion followed the same pattern. Extragalactic forces would probe the galaxy's defenses, testing for weaknesses. When they found vulnerable points, they would attack in coordinated waves, trying to destroy key Guardian positions before the network could respond. But this time is different, observed Yun-Hee Yang, a quantum engineer studying the Guardians' technical specifications. The invaders are using technology that we've never seen before. Look at these energy signatures. They're not just attacking the Guardian network, they're trying to absorb it. The ship's displays showed tactical analysis of the invading fleet. The enemy vessels were not simply weapons of destruction. They were harvesting devices designed to capture and convert Guardian technology for their own use. They're learning from each attack, Minho realized, studying the invaders' adaptive capabilities. Every time they're repelled, they return, with better technology and new strategies. This isn't just war, it's evolution. The Guardian revealed through its environmental communications that humanity was unique among all the species it had protected throughout galactic history. Previous civilizations that hosted Guardian ships had eventually become dependent on the advanced technology, losing their own innovative capabilities and becoming passive participants in galactic defense. But humans kept developing, Aerie said, studying comparative data from other Guardian worlds. We never stopped creating new technologies, new solutions, new ways of thinking about problems. That's why the Guardian chose Earth as the central node, added Bo Young. Human creativity and adaptability complement Guardian technology in ways that no other species has achieved. The most remarkable discovery came when Yun-Hee found that human technology was naturally compatible with Guardian systems. Our computers can interface directly with Guardian networks without any modification. Our material science can repair Guardian biomechanical components using principles we developed independently. It's as if human technology was designed to work with Guardian systems. Or Guardian systems were designed to work with human technology, suggested Junwoo. The Guardian has been watching our development for 50,000 years. Maybe it adapted its systems to match our technological approach. The implications were staggering. The Guardian had not just protected humanity, it had been learning from them, evolving its own capabilities based on human innovation and creativity. Look at this, Miran said, pointing to displays showing the galactic network's current status. Guardian ships throughout the galaxy are reporting the same phenomenon. The species they've been protecting have all developed technologies that enhance Guardian capabilities in different ways. It's not just a defensive network, Sang-Min realized. It's a collaborative system where each protected species contributes their unique strengths to the whole. But the collaboration came with a price that made everyone pause. The Guardians' environmental communications explained that fully activating Earth's role in the network would fundamentally change humanity. The quantum flux streams that connected Guardian worlds would begin flowing through human consciousness itself. Anyone connected to the system would gain abilities that defy current scientific understanding, Chang Ho explained, studying the technical specifications. Telepathic communication across galactic distances, precognitive awareness of threats, the ability to manipulate matter and energy at the quantum level. We would become something beyond baseline humanity, Yoon-hee added. But we would retain our individual personalities and memories. It's enhancement, not replacement. The Guardian showed them what humans could become. Beings capable of coordinating defenses across thousands of worlds through pure thought, perceiving threats across galactic distances, and manipulating technology through conscious will rather than physical interfaces. But there's a cost, Bo-young observed, studying the psychological profiles of enhanced beings from other worlds. The responsibility, the isolation that comes with being responsible for billions of lives. The knowledge that every decision you make affects entire civilizations. Alarms sounded from their surface equipment. The team faced the reality of their situation. The invasion fleet was already engaging Guardian ships in the outer solar system. Battles were raging throughout the galaxy as the network attempted to coordinate its defense. Guardian ships on 17 worlds have already fallen, reported Sojin, monitoring galactic communications. The enemy is adapting faster than ever before. They're using captured Guardian technology to enhance their own weapons. Without Earth's participation, the network can't function at full capacity, Sang-min said grimly. The central node is the key to coordinating galactic defense. If Earth falls, the entire network collapses. The Guardians' communications became desperate, showing them simulations of what would happen if the galactic network failed. World after world falling to the invaders, entire civilizations harvested for their knowledge and technology. The galaxy itself becoming a resource to fuel the invaders' expansion into other galactic clusters. How much time do we have to decide? Taeho asked. The answer came from their orbital monitoring stations. Enemy vessels are approaching Earth's outer defenses, reported Jamin from the Deep Space Center. Estimated time to planetary engagement, 18 hours. And the other Guardian worlds? Miran asked. Fighting for their lives, Sojin replied, monitoring galactic communications. But they're holding defensive positions, waiting for Earth to activate the central coordination system. As the team looked at each other in the ship's central chamber, they realized that their archaeological discovery had become humanity's moment of ultimate choice. They could accept transformation and activate Earth's role as the galactic network's central command, or they could remain unchanged and watch as both their world and every other civilization in the galaxy fell to an enemy that had been perfecting its attack strategies for millions of years. The Guardian had spent 50,000 years preparing humanity for this decision. Now they had less than 18 hours to make the choice that would determine the fate of galactic civilization itself. Each ship seemed to exist partially outside normal space, phasing in and out of visibility as they advanced toward Earth's outer defenses. "Sir," reported his sensor operator, "the invader technology is adapting to our defensive measures in real time. Every weapon we fire at them, they analyze and develop countermeasures within minutes." "How is that possible?" Dong-hyun asked. "Unknown, sir. But they're not just using advanced technology. They're using Guardian technology. Ship configurations, energy signatures, even some weapon types match Guardian designs from our database. Back in the desert, Dr. Sunmi Oh had made a breakthrough discovery in the Guardian ship's deepest chambers. What she found changed their understanding of the Guardian's true nature completely. The Guardian isn't artificial intelligence, she announced to the team gathered around her workstation. It's not even a single consciousness. The Guardian is the uploaded collective consciousness of an entire civilization that chose transformation to become eternal protectors. "What do you mean?" Taeho asked, studying the data she had uncovered. "The species that built this ship faced the same choice we're facing now. When the invaders attacked their galaxy millions of years ago, they chose to sacrifice their physical existence to become pure consciousness. They uploaded their minds into the Guardian network to defend other species forever." The implications were staggering. The Guardian was not an alien intelligence protecting humanity out of duty. It was a civilization that had chosen to become eternal guardians, sacrificing their own physical existence to protect others. Dr. Jinna Kim, a neurobiologist studying the transformation process, discovered that the quantum consciousness enhancement would not replace human minds, but expand them. "The process doesn't erase human consciousness," she explained. "It adds new layers of perception and capability while preserving individual personality and memory. You would still be yourself," she continued, "but you would also be connected to the collective knowledge and experience of every Guardian consciousness throughout galactic history. You would retain your human emotions, your relationships, your individual thoughts, but you would also be able to perceive and influence events across galactic distances." The Guardian showed them through its environmental communications what humans could become, beings capable of coordinating defenses across thousands of worlds through pure thought, perceiving threats before they materialized, and manipulating matter and energy through conscious will. But it also showed them the cost, the loneliness of being responsible for billions of lives, the weight of making decisions that affected entire civilizations, the isolation that came with abilities that separated them from normal human experience. Tae-young-ju, representing Earth's younger generation in the council debates, argued passionately for acceptance. "Throughout human history, we've been defined by our willingness to sacrifice for others, from the first humans who shared fire with strangers to the colonists, who risked everything to expand beyond Earth. We've always chosen to help others even when it cost us personally." "But this is different," protested Nari. "This isn't just individual sacrifice. We're talking about fundamentally changing what it means to be human." "Are we?" countered Tae-young. "Or are we talking about becoming more human? The Guardian Network is based on cooperation, protection of the weak, and sacrifice for the greater good. Those are human values." As the debate raged on Earth, the situation in space was becoming desperate. The invasion fleet had reached the outer edge of the solar system and was engaging the few Guardian ships that had emerged to defend Earth. "Guardian Vessel Sanctuary is reporting critical damage," announced Dong-hyun from his monitoring station. "Guardian Vessel Protector has gone silent. Sir, we're losing our defensive positions." But the most alarming report came from Dr. Gi-hwan, who was analyzing the enemy technology from captured sensor data. "The invaders aren't from outside our galaxy originally," he announced to the shocked team. "Their technology shows Guardian origins. These invaders are a corrupted version of the Guardian network itself." "What does that mean?" asked Sunmi. "It means these invaders were once part of a Guardian network like ours, but something went wrong. They stopped protecting and started conquering. They're using corrupted Guardian technology to harvest other Guardian networks, growing stronger with each galaxy they consume. The revelation changed everything. The choice wasn't just between transformation and death. It was between becoming protectors like the original Guardians, or potentially becoming corrupted conquerors like the invaders. "How do we know we won't become like them?" asked Bo Young during the council session. The answer came from the Guardian itself through its environmental communications. It showed them the key difference between protection and conquest: choice. The Guardian network only worked when species chose to participate freely. Forced transformation or unwilling participation led to corruption and eventual failure. Data. Invaders fell because they tried to force other species to join their network, interpreted Hyejin from the Guardian's complex environmental signals. Coercion corrupts the consciousness connection. Only voluntary participation maintains the network's protective purpose. As the enemy fleet advanced past Jupiter's orbit, alarms sounded throughout Earth's defense networks. The invasion had reached the inner solar system. "Time to planetary engagement, 4 hours, reported Jaemin to the Global Council. "We need a decision now." Kyungmin looked at the faces of Earth's representatives, seeing the same determination that had driven humanity: to explore beyond their homeworld, to help strangers in need, to sacrifice for future generations they would never meet. "The vote is called," he announced. "All in favor of accepting Guardian transformation to defend galactic civilization?" As the votes were counted, the Guardian ship in the desert began to glow with increasing intensity, preparing for humanity's choice. Whether they chose transformation or remained unchanged, the next few hours would determine not just Earth's fate, but the future of every consciousness in the galaxy. The ancient ship that had defied science was about to reveal whether humanity was ready to defy the limitations of their own biology to become something greater than themselves. Of perception. He could suddenly sense the Guardian ship not just as a vessel, but as a living entity filled with the consciousness of countless beings who had chosen protection over self-preservation. But most remarkably, he remained himself. His memories, his personality, his love for his team and his work, all of it stayed intact, while new capabilities blossomed around his unchanged core. "Tai-ho!" called Hayrim from outside the chamber. "How do you feel?" "I feel more," he replied, his voice carrying harmonics that hadn't been there before. "I can perceive the entire galactic network, every Guardian ship, every protected world, every point of light in the defensive grid, and I can sense the corruption in the invading fleet." As the first group of volunteers completed their transformation, Dr. Sung-Ho Lim found himself coordinating. Earth's defenses from a perspective that transcended normal human limitations. Through the Guardian network, he could perceive the battle raging throughout the galaxy simultaneously, watching as corrupted Guardian ships attacked their uncorrupted counterparts across thousands of star systems. "The invasion fleet is more damaged than we realized," he reported, his enhanced consciousness analyzing the enemy ships in ways that normal sensors could never achieve. "They're not just using corrupted Guardian technology. They're dying from it." "What do you mean?" asked Minho, studying the readings from his unchanged perspective. "The corruption is consuming them," Sheng-Ho explained. "They've been cut off from the network so long that their technology is breaking down. They're attacking us not just for conquest, but for survival. They need fresh Guardian technology to prevent their own systems from failing." Dr. Yuri Kang, now enhanced and leading a team of transformed engineers, made a breakthrough discovery that changed everything. "The corruption isn't permanent," she announced. "It's like a disease that can be cured. The invaders haven't chosen evil. They've been isolated so long they've forgotten their original purpose." "You're saying we can heal them?" asked Ari. "I'm saying we have to try," Yuri replied. Human understanding of redemption and second chances, combined with Guardian technology, might be able to reverse the corruption and restore them to their protective purpose. As the invasion fleet reached Earth's orbit, the transformed humans attempted something that had never been tried in galactic history. Instead of fighting the corrupted ships, they reached out to them through the quantum network, offering connection rather than resistance. The result was immediate and dramatic. The lead invasion ship suddenly stopped its attack, its corrupted, systems flickering as the network connection attempted to re-establish itself. For a moment, the ship's original Guardian programming reasserted itself, and its crew remembered what they had once been. "It's working," reported Dal Su Moon, coordinating the galaxy-spanning effort from his enhanced perspective. "The corrupted ships are responding to network reconnection, but the process is unstable. We need to maintain contact with all of them simultaneously." The final battle took place not in normal space, but across multiple dimensions of consciousness, as transformed humans reached out to every corrupted ship in the invasion fleet. It was like performing surgery on a galactic scale, carefully removing the isolation and corruption that had driven these former protectors to become conquerors. Dr. Yejin Cho made the critical breakthrough when she realized that the invaders' corruption stemmed from loneliness. "They've been cut off from the network for so long that they forgot they weren't alone," she explained. "The corruption fed on their isolation, turning protection into possession, cooperation into conquest." "So we remind them," said Taeho, his consciousness now spanning the distance between Earth and the invasion fleet. "We show them that they're not alone anymore." The healing process was exhausting, requiring every transformed human to maintain quantum connections across impossible distances while gradually reintegrating thousands of corrupted consciousnesses back into the protective network. But slowly, ship by ship, the invasion fleet began to remember its original purpose. "Corruption levels dropping across all enemy vessels," reported Yuri. "Their weapons are powering down. Navigation systems are returning to Guardian protocols." What had begun as humanity's darkest hour became something unprecedented in galactic history. Instead of destroying their attackers, humans had healed them. The war became a rescue mission. The battle became a reconciliation. Dr. Won-Sik Kim, now serving as Earth's liaison to the Galactic Guardian Network, oversaw the establishment of new protocols that would prevent future corruption. The network was restructured to maintain constant connection between all Guardian worlds, ensuring that none would ever face the isolation that led to corruption. But humanity's greatest contribution came from Dr. Sora Yang's discovery that the quantum consciousness enhancement was not permanent. Enhanced humans could choose to step back from their Guardian role, returning to baseline humanity while retaining the knowledge and connections they had gained. "We're the first species to make Guardian transformation voluntary and reversible," she explained to the Global Council. "Others can learn from our example. Transformation becomes a choice rather than a permanent sacrifice." Mingyu Cho, one of the few who chose to remain baseline human, established Earth as a bridge between normal galactic civilization and the Guardian network. Humanity became not just protectors, but teachers, showing other species how to maintain their essential nature while accepting greater responsibilities. The story concluded with Hyojin Nam, Taeho's daughter, leading a new generation of exploration teams to search for other hidden Guardian ships throughout human space. The desert discovery had been just the beginning. Earth contained multiple ancient vessels, each holding different aspects of Guardian technology and each requiring human innovation to unlock. The ship that defied science taught us that science itself is far broader than we ever imagined, Taeho said, addressing the first graduates of the Guardian Academy established at the desert site. But more importantly, it taught us that we can accept any responsibility, face any challenge, and still remain fundamentally human. As young explorers prepared to seek out other hidden ships across Earth, the ancient vessel in the desert continued to glow with gentle light. No longer mysterious but welcoming, it had fulfilled its purpose, revealing that the greatest discoveries don't just change what we know about the universe, but what we know about ourselves. The sands that had hidden the ship for 50,000 years now covered a thriving research center where baseline and enhanced humans worked together, proving that transformation and tradition could coexist. Humanity had learned to reach beyond science, beyond their biological limitations, and beyond themselves, while never forgetting what made them human in the first place.